Hi guys, happy Tuesday. To start off with, just want to say our thoughts and prayers are with the great city of Houston, Texas, and of South Texas, everybody in South Texas that's gone through that hurricane, and I have friends and family down there, and to hear the tales of how horrific it is right now, our thoughts and prayers are with the people down there, and hope everybody will do their part in helping a fellow American any way they see fit in that. Really good practice today, by far one of our best of the entire camp, and we need it. You know, in studying this Western Michigan team, they have kind of the three phases that you really hate seeing as a opposing coach. It starts with their defense. To be able to have that core back and to see the guys that they've got coming back is scary. Tremendous linebacking core, really strong secondary, and you know, a team that held everybody to about 19.5 points last year. The second thing they got is a tremendous running game, and we all know that we all know the two with Bogan and Franklin, but then to have Bellamy back also coming off an ACL and what he can bring to the table, they've really got a three-headed monster working right now. And then the last is they play great special teams, and with Darius Phillips, you know, the MAC Special Teams Player of the Year, a guy that can not only hurt you on punt return but kickoff return. They have everything you need to go on an away game. Pack your run game, pack your defense, and pack great special teams. This is a very dangerous team, and we'll have to be able to play our best to compete with them. It's also going to be a lot of fun for me because it's really a reality check for us to see where we are and to see where 24 newcomers are and to see some guys that we redshirted and see how they've developed. Everybody has great high expectations for us. It's neat to see as a coach exactly where you are after this first game, so I'm really excited about that. Injury-wise, it was great to have Biani back. He looked really good today. I anticipate him being ready for the game. Daniel Morte-Bebe got some really good work today. I'm going to continue watching him through the week and make a decision later in the week. Michael Pittman, we held today. I think he's doubtful for the game, to be honest. We'll see how it goes later in the week. And Keyshawn Young right now still has a hamstring. Sounds like he can practice later in the week, and we'll see where he's at. Today had one ankle sprain with Liam Jimmons. Looks like a high ankle, so we'll see how long that is. And we held Isaiah Langley a little bit for a quad tightness. We'll see how that is in the next couple days. With that, I'll answer any questions that you have. I am excited. Really, like I said, it's really going to be neat to see where we're at offensive, defensively, special teams, and it's really a culmination of how are these 24 newcomers going to react? How are the kids that we redshirted last year and spent a year developing? Where are they at now? You know, so that's the most exciting part for me. That's kind of the unknown. I kind of know what, you know, a Cam Smith and an Uchenna and a Porter. You've seen those guys play so much football, so you know what you're getting. But I'm really excited to see the young people and how they can help this football team.
Our offensive coordinator comes from Indiana, where they were the second fastest running their offense. Do you think they'll come in and go tempo and run with you, and would you be happy if that happened?
Yeah, you know, that's one of the things that we've noticed on tape is they do use tempo and they can't go fast, whether it's one-word calls or whether they run the same play twice, what we call mulligan. You know, they run the same play as fast as they can. And tempo is part of our league, and it's something we're used to, thank goodness. It's about half the teams in our league are no-huddle tempo teams, so we always are prepared for it. It helps us being a no-huddle, probably not as fast as Indiana was last year, but our defense sees it on a daily basis, so I think that gives us a little bit of a leg up. They won't be surprised.
Clay, how have you prepared differently for this season comparatively to last year against Alabama? Of course, Western Michigan's not the same opponent, but did come off of undefeated regular season last year.
Yeah, I think probably the major difference is just the quarterback position and really being solidified there, you know, and a guy that has played 9 games and has established himself not only as a very good player, but a leader of our offense. And to have that reassurance going into game 1 is makes me confident. The other thing is to be able to see our offensive line come together like they have, to be able to have Vianney healthy, Toa healthy, Nico healthy. That's been a long time since that's happened, and to have those three kind of rocks there of stability makes you feel really good also. So I think those are kind of the two positions that are giving me the most confidence, I know, offensively. Defensively, it's just having all that experience back. I look, even today, I was looking to see how many plays and games those guys have played, and now second year in the system, that's something that makes you sleep at night also. So a lot more comfortable than than starting off last year, just because of the unknown. There's a lot more answers that we have going into this year.
When you put together that receiving group, Stephen, Jalen, DeAndre, all those guys are older guys. What did that experience play as a factor?
Yeah, you know, you've been able to see them in games, how they react. They're very poised. But the other thing is to be able to have that youth right behind them. You know, we're going to be hopefully an 80 play plus offense, and you know, we plan on splitting those reps. You know, so we'll start with the experience of guys that have played in games and that we've seen, and allow these guys that have redshirted and are literally walking into, some of them walking into the stadium for the first time to play, to see how they react. You know, and we'll always put the best player out there and who can perform and produce the best. But you know, to start off the game, we're going to go with experience, and then we will use that youth in this game as well as all games.
How much of that rotation at receiver is predetermined versus deciding on who's playing best on it?
Yeah, you know, a lot of it is they control themselves based on, you know, in a no-huddle offense, you're always keeping an eye on your teammate. So they have a buddy, they watch their buddy. If he raises his hand, they go, and we don't even substitute. Now, there are particular situations and plays that team may call a certain individual into the game, and we were able to be able to communicate that substitution by a personnel grouping along with that player's number to be able to get them in the game for a certain situation. So you have it twofold. One, in no huddle and going fast, they handle it themselves, but in certain special, whether it's red zone, whether it's down and distance, third down situations, there are particular men that will go in with a particular skill set to help us move the chains.
How are they coached on when to call for a buddy? Because it seems like you could theoretically have a guy who doesn't want to come off the field.
No, they are doing it unselfishly, and if you've watched us, I mean, we've been doing no huddle for the past 6 years, and they've handled it themselves. You go as long as you can. Usually that's 3, 4, 5 hard plays, and then your teammate goes in with you. And if you look up and you got a 10, 12, 14 play drive, you're going to see your buddy come in and come in and help. So we rely on that. We love to kind of be basketball on grass, to be able to sub in and out when needed. We trust our players, that next group up, to go in and produce, and it's been a very strong part of our offense to be able to do that instead of having a person that may be winded in there.
What's your confidence level in the running game this year versus the past years you've been here?
One, just the stable of backs provides me a lot of confidence. To have a Rojo and a Sed who bring a lot of experience going into their third year, but now to add a Vi and a Stephen Carr, you know, you look at, and they all have different skill sets, which is really neat. So to be able to put them in to do different plays, different situations, and just to know you have that depth, that if one guy gets down or dinged, your lack of production is not going to go down because they're all so talented. So the older two, you know, very confident in as every down backs, and Vi and Steven are learning really fast, and you'll see them also. So I look forward to watching them Saturday. They're a strong group.
Coach, what do you have to do to...
Go ahead, man.
Have you decided one way or the other whether you're going to use both true freshman receivers yet?
You know, talking to T, we're going to go through this week. I think, you know, Jody is a little bit further ahead probably of Randall right now. Randall's really catching up playbook-wise, but, you know, missed a little bit of camp, and he's catching on to the playbook. But Joseph looks strong, and I think you'll see him out there. I wouldn't be surprised if T doesn't put Randall out there too. He's working him hard to try to get him prepared.
Coach, what do you have to do with the young kids, obviously, not to read into the hype and buy into where you guys are right now in the preseason rankings going into a first weekend game?
Yeah, I think last year, and I love to show the lessons of history, you know, and to be able to try to learn from those lessons. And one of the things that we learned from last year, hopefully, is every game matters. You know, as successful as we were at the end of the season, everybody was patting us on the back saying, oh, you're a great team, maybe you're a playoff team. The fact of the matter is we were a 3-loss team, and your September is just as valuable as your October and November. We've been really, really strong down the stretch. Now we have to start fast, and it starts with Western Michigan, a team that had 13 wins last year. The one thing I've learned after 23 years of college football is now in today's game, if you don't bring your A game, you're going to get your butt beat. And so the mentality-wise is like I've told them, every game is a playoff game. Every game means a championship for us. And hopefully, as I saw today, I was really looking forward to today's practice to see their approach to it, and by far their best practice of training camp. So I like where they're at now.
One more.
We've got a couple of guys that Jalen Green's switches from quarterback to receiver, back to quarterback for a quick second for the Rose Bowl, and then receiver. How much of that was instigated by him, and how much was the coaching staff?
Oh no, we love using Jalen in different situations, and you've seen it over his time here. Primarily a wide receiver, but to be able to use him in certain quarterback situations, almost like a wildcat quarterback. You've seen him involved in trick plays. He's just so dynamic. I mean, he can make the plays catching the ball. He can run after the catch. Obviously, you can still use his arm. He was a quarterback at one point in time. So he's just he's very, very advantageous for us to be able to use in several positions. And quarterback's one, and some of the special wrinkles that we like to use with him.